All right, guys. Last week we talked, speculated when and how the season could get back underway. It's a pretty unprecedented time, and with that comes some unexpected consequences. Teams don't typically get a break in the middle of the season besides that week for All-Star break, but now they're going to get at least a month or two, and it could be more than that. With this extended break in mind, Jay, which team is going to benefit from the most from this bizarre turn of events and extra time off?
Well, I think it could benefit a great number of teams because we see at this stage in the season there's a lot of injuries that have abound. There's a lot of guys playing through some pain, so I think it's going to help a great number of teams. I think the Clippers though get a real benefit here for getting some time off because their top two players have dealt with nagging injuries throughout the season. When you talk about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and we've also seen Patrick Beverley miss his fair share of time. We know how valuable he is to that starting lineup. So I think the Clippers, this break will do them well, but it's a two-sided equation because I'm operating under the premise that the NBA regular season will be shortened and we'll play about, I would say, 6 or 7 games once the season comes off suspension, and then we'll roll into the playoffs. So that could also be a concern for the Clippers because one of the things we've lamented lately is you got all these new parts, and then you incorporating the Reggie Jacksons of the world and the Marcus Morrises of the world. There's something to be said for the chemistry that you're trying to develop. So a decrease in regular season games could have an adverse effect on that. But the benefit of getting your two superstars healthy, hopefully, with this layoff, I think that does outweigh the risk of the chemistry because I think even with the shortened season, that first round series for them should be just a tune-up round anyway. Because I don't, as much as surprising as the Dallas Mavericks have been, that would be their opponent at this moment, I believe. I don't think we expect Dallas to really give the Clippers a serious run in a 7-game series. I will also say Milwaukee, with Giannis's injury that he had, the Bucks have to be thrilled well, I'm going to say they're thrilled, but they've got to. This is a break that they can use, and their number one guy. You talk about most valuable player. We said it a couple nights ago. The Bucks without Giannis look lost in the few games they played without him. So I'm just assuming he's going to be back healthy, and then maybe we can see some semblance of a number two in Chris Middleton, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see Eric Bledsoe show up and earn his money for once. So I think those teams benefit, and I think the Lakers will benefit from this as well, but I do think there's a drawback. There's a little bit of a negative side with the break for them, but I'm sure Drink is about to tell us about the Lakers.
Well, let me just tell you, your assumption is correct. Listen, I think this break, it definitely benefits both MVP candidates. As he said, Giannis coming back from injury, and LeBron James. Let's go ahead and cut to the cheese. We know this. LeBron James is the oldest superstar in the NBA right now. One of the negative connotations that was attached to him was he's older, he's going to need more rest, he can't do what he used to do. He has played a lot of minutes up to this point, but he has played the lowest minutes that he played within the last 5 years. However, he still have a high usage rate. With that said, a guy of his age, you're right. You can definitely use a break like this when you did not see this coming, and it was definitely benefit a guy of his age that's playing at the level that he's playing. And you already mentioned Giannis, so I don't need to beat that dead horse. And then we talk about the Clippers. Here's the deal: Paul George, we just don't know. Like, now he gets unnecessary rest, and hopefully that shoulder comes back. And Kawhi Leonard, I always said this, it is something, I think it's something seriously wrong with Kawhi Leonard's knee that he's kind of been playing through, and now he gets to rest it without having to do load management. So I think those three teams at the top definitely benefit. It's one of those things. The rich get richer. All right, this ain't a tax bill for the big corporations, but it's close to it. So these teams gonna get the rest, and yes, it hurts these smaller teams because I don't think the Memphis Grizzlies want to go and catch this smoke from a well-rested Lakers. Now, like you said, it's a two-sided coin, right? The problem with the Lakers and this rest is the Lakers are an older team. what we know about older teams is it takes them more time to get in the rhythm than it would take a younger team. The young team kind of you roll that ball out and they just kind of like the Pelicans, right? When Zion came back, that team so young, they kind of just got to it, right? Well, Lakers, there ain't no spring chickens. You take Anthony Davis out of the mix. Hey, we looking at pretty old over here. We might need some handicap stickers. So it's gonna take them time to warm up those ligaments and warm up those muscles. So we might see some bad ball, but like you said, it would be more of a preseason look. I mean, you would think a lot of these seeds gonna be signed, sealed, and delivered. If not, the NBA just say, look, all 8 teams are locked in. We only playing these 7 games to warm up the muscles, and we're gonna start the playoffs like this. Then that means you give them 7 games, roughly what, about a week and a half. You play 7 games. Give them a week and a half to get that groove back, to get that continuity back, and then boom, we're gonna go into the playoffs, and then there we go. And the same thing for Milwaukee. They get the leader back. Chris Middleton can, get back to what he do, which is wait on Giannis, and then Eric Bledsoe can, I guess, play defense. So they get back in the fray, and we get to see them do what they do, and the best. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like everybody want to talk about, oh yeah, Milwaukee, that bench is so spectacular. I guess that bench ain't really worth nothing when the star ain't around, because they looked pretty pedestrian too. But that's neither here nor there, because this ain't what this conversation about. But that's my pick. The top three at the top of the league gets the rest more, and the rich get richer, man.
Hey, real quick to the point about the Milwaukee Bucks bench. If Giannis doesn't play, it automatically has to slide one of those bench guys into the starting lineup. So just by that, it will weaken the bench. But yeah, I would say as far as Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe, we've given them a lot of heat, but the bench probably has to be held accountable too, because they not carrying their end of the bargain either. And I'm glad you brought up what you did about the Lakers as far as them maybe taking some time to regain their rhythm, because with the recent slide from Milwaukee, you can make a great argument that the Lakers have been the most consistent ball club in the NBA throughout the season. So, and when you factor in their age, a stoppage in play is probably not what they would want to see, given how they've been in a pretty good rhythm throughout the season.
Yeah, I looked at a couple teams that really, are just away from the very top, or some that are actually chasing a playoff spot. And like the first one I'll say is Portland, but of course this completely depends on what happens. If the season comes back and restarts and we get to play the rest of the season, I got to think Portland's at least a little bit happy. They got a little bit of a break. They're going to get Collins back. They're going to get Nurkic back. You're going to have 2 guys that are going to be good rotational guys. Maybe a little bit more than that. They're going to come in and help out. And you remember Damian Lillard got hurt for a while. McCollum was out there he was doing his best to carry him along, but it didn't really go very well. So you get Lillard, he gets plenty of time to get back healthy, and that's a team that could have used a good deep breath to just, hey, we're only 3.5 games back. We can do this. We gotta reset. But of course, if the season doesn't restart with the regular season, we just have tune-ups in the playoffs. Well, it obviously doesn't matter. A team that's in the playoffs, I think, gets a lot of a benefit is the Celtics. This is a team that hasn't been healthy at the same time. Every time one person gets healthy, someone else goes down. It's like whack-a-mole, just going around. One head pops up, and the other one goes down. This is a team that needs some time with all their starters together to really kind of gel. I think the last guy out was Marcus Smart. Well, I think he actually got the coronavirus, but he's gonna have plenty of time, hopefully, to get back and kick that. And you get a good opportunity when the season does come back. Everyone's here. The whole gang's here, and you get at least a couple games, if not more, to roll into the playoffs as a healthy unit that's had some time to really kind of work out the little details of that rotation versus, well, who's got it tonight? And then, we always say Gordon Hayward's over there building sandcastles. Like, it's been kind of they've been winning, obviously, but it's been kind of this mixed bag, whereas now you can get everybody together, and that's really good. And I'll throw you a real quick wild card would be the Rockets. We remember that small ball experiment started really going south right before the season stopped. I mean, they took 4 or 5 losses in a row, and things were not looking very good. So they are probably happy. We know how James Harden gets. He gets a little tired, and then the production kind of goes off for a while. So James Harden's probably pretty happy to have a little bit of a break. And that's a team that, if they come back a little more rejuvenated, they could make a little bit of a push going into the playoffs as well.
Yeah, they might have a growth spurt. They need one.